Alright, I think it's finally time for me to make a build video on the build that I'm currently using, because recently I've been getting a lot of requests asking like what Dark Sea items do you use Atlantean stuff, how do you have so much health with so much power, etc, etc. But before I talk about the build that I'm currently using, now that the Arcane Odyssey Dark Sea update is out, a lot of new items exist and you could be quite clueless in how valuable these are. You wouldn't want to get scammed out of an item that was secretly insanely expensive. However, fairly soon in the Galleon Discord server, data analysts and experts will be updating their item value list to include all these new Dark Sea items, so you could easily find out what the true value of your new Dark Sea loot is. So never get scammed in a trade again by joining them using the link down below. What to tell you before I show you my build that I'm currently using is that it's not actually complete. Like, I can get even better, I can get even more insane stats. I just need to enchant a couple more things and get one more Atlantean essence, and then this build will truly be insane. If you have a look at my stats here, I've got 84 power, 957 defense, 24 intensity, 70 attack speed, 18 agility, and 2 insanity, and that's pretty important. Now, how did I get all of these stats? Well, I'm using a hasty Atlantean Cernic sleeveless robes, which gives 12 power, 42 attack speed, 18 agility, and 245 defense. I'm using a powerful Atlantean Paramulet, which gives 38 power and 97 defense. Also, it gives 1 point of insanity, the same as this one. For this, I'm using Armoured Cernic's Folds, which gives 309 defense and 18 attack speed. Armoured Cernic's Boots, which gives 306 defense, 18 attack speed, and this Charged Arcane Bracelet, which gives 34 power and 24 intensity. Now, just to explain the enchants on each one of these and the different gems, I'm just going to do that real quick. So basically on this one, just to explain what powerful is, it's the new exotic enchantment scroll that you can find in the Dark Sea. It's basically a stronger version of the strong enchantment scroll. It gives 4 extra power compared to that, I'm pretty sure, because I think before this I had something like 33 power or 34 power. As for the Atlantean Paramulet itself, I got this just completely out of random luck out of a Dark Sea sealed chest. This is also the only fair amulet out of any sort of stat that I've actually gotten at all from a Dark Sea sealed chest, which is honestly quite lucky for me to get a power one, which is probably one of the most useful ones alongside like maybe attack size and defense. And basically the difference between an Atlantean amulet compared to a non-Atlantean one is that it gives defense, which is kind of insane. An amulet with its own stat, giving a stat that isn't even its own stat, if that makes any sense. That's pretty crazy. As for this one, you might be asking, how is this Atlantean? You can't even get Cernic sleeveless robes in the Dark Sea. Well, there's actually an item that you can get. I think I got this on stream. Last time I was doing a live stream just doing some Dark Sea expeditions, I managed to get my hands on an Atlantean essence. And what that does, you can basically apply it to any armor piece, and it turns that armor piece into an Atlantean variation, which basically gives power, or like another substat. Like if it gives defense, it'll probably give power. If it's something power based, it'll probably give defense. So when I put it on this, it gave me 12 power, which is honestly pretty crazy. But obviously, it gives me 1 insanity. As for the enchant on this, which is hasty, that is also a new exotic enchantment scroll that you can find in the Dark Sea. It basically boosts your attack speed, but also gives agility, which is pretty important. My build is centered around using ranged projectiles. As you can see, I'm using an Ardent Siren Bow and Swift Dual Bronze Flintlocks. And obviously right now, you might not actually know, but attack speed now affects the gun M1 travel speed as well as reload time for projectiles. So basically with high attack speed, my projectiles for my weapons are going to be just insanely fast. And for this enchant, the armored one is also another new enchantment scroll that you can find in Dark Sea sealed chests, and it's basically a much better version of the hard enchant. It gives you extra defense, that is basically it. And I have that exact same enchantment on Cernic's Boots. And from Arcane Bracelet, a lot of people might be wondering what this even is, because it's a new item. Well, what an Arcane Bracelet is that it's basically a better version of an Arc Sphere. It gives the exact same power as an Arc Sphere, but also gives intensity, which is pretty useful for like damage over time stuff like bleed and poison. I'm not sure if it affects bleed, but it definitely affects like poison, burning, and all the other damage over time status effects that magics and other things can afflict you with. And as for the enchant to have in this, it's called Charged, and that's basically also a new Dark Sea exotic enchantment scroll, which gives a lot extra power as well as extra intensity. So without this, I probably would have had 12 intensity, but with it on, I've got 24 intensity now. As for the jewels, I'm running all of these ones right here are perfect defense energy regen jewels, and for this one right here, and the jewels in this one are 2 perfect power jewels, which also gives energy regeneration. Now actually, the Dark Sea update has added some extra jewels, I think I have a couple right here, but I do not have perfect jewel crafting. I got all of these from fans, so I'm going to have to try and get my hands on some of the new jewels, see if I can socket that and make my build even crazier. Now, what I was saying earlier about my build not being complete is that, see, for this, I probably will change this from hasty to armored, which gives me extra defense. Something like that, or powerful. Yeah, I probably will change this to armored, because without it, I probably will have something like 21 attack speed, or something like that, like about half. But I still have quite a lot of attack speed, 60 something attack speed is still perfectly fine. But with that extra defense, it's going to buff my defense way past 1000 defense, which is honestly, like, the goal. The build I have in mind, I'm trying to get 100 power, 1000 defense, and a lot of attacks, and that's basically going to be the build that I'm going to be running mainly in Arcane Odyssey. That's the build that I'm trying to aim for. Now, to achieve this, I need 1 more Atlantean essence, which will obviously give me 1 more insanity. However, you start taking damage from insanity at insanity 4, I'm pretty sure. So insanity 3, you're fine, and if you do not like the effects, you can just drink some warding potions. It's really easy to make, and the thing that you use to create warding potions, they're called golden petals, like golden leaves or something like that. They're really common in Dark Sea, so they're not that hard to find. But you don't even take any damage from anything less than Insanity 4, so it's basically fine to have Insanity 3. So let's say if I were to apply the Atlantean Essence to the Cernix boots, that would give me, I think, 12 extra power. And that will give me 96 power in total, which is really close, but not quite 100. So to make that 100, I will basically just change 2 of these jewels to power jewels, which will give me something like, which will give me 102 power in total. And I'm pretty sure once I change this from hasty to armored, that'll give me enough defense to stay over 1000 defense while having 102 power. And I'm pretty sure my attack speed will be something like 60 something. So my build basically will be 102 attack speed, more than 1000 defense, about 60 something attack speed, and I'm pretty sure my agility stays. In fact, no, my agility is gonna go because that is a byproduct of the hasty enchant. So I'll have 102 power, over 1000 defense, 60 something attack speed, and 24 intensity. Also, I could actually probably change this from charged to powerful. I think instead of taking off a couple gems and giving that power instead to bump it over to 100, I could probably just change this to powerful and have this with Atlantean. That'll also give me over 100 power, 100 and 1000 defense without sacrificing the need to like take 2 gems off here and give it defense instead. So basically my build is nearly complete, but I still have a little bit more work to do to get the Atlantean essence and another armored scroll, as well as a powerful scroll, and that's basically my build going to be complete. Also, I might try to get some of the new gems, which will hopefully... I do know that one of the gems that they've added does give drawback, which honestly I'm not a big fan of, even though some builds work really well with it. For example, big AoE warlocks, because you can just hit your attacks regardless, they work very well with it, but my build in particular, because I'm running projectiles, and I'm going to be spamming a lot of M1s, it's probably not going to work out very well. And aside from that, the only thing I really have to do is, I want to put Tempered on my dual bronze flintlocks, and probably put something like Ardent on this one. I actually already have Ardent in the Siren Bow, which basically reduces the damage by a little bit, but increases its attack speed by a lot. So if I actually show you right here, the previous build video that I did on the Siren Bow, I had Swift, but I managed to get my hands on Ardent after that video, and just have a look at this speed. Look at the speed of those M1s. Now if you compare that to bronze flintlocks, it's actually faster than guns. I've already explained that in the previous video. You might be wondering, how good is this against like mobs and stuff? How much damage do I actually do with these weapons? Well, I'm going to go test that out. First thing I want to do is kill King Calvus with it. He's a pretty good test subject, as so we can have a good look at how much damage this does and how quickly it does that damage. So let's just go to King Calvus right now. Do bronze flintlocks. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Okay, he is just dead. He is just dead. Holy crap, this is actually sad. Oh, he just left, bro. King Calvus literally dipped. He was like, nah, I'm it. This isn't even fair, bro. What? Oh, he parried it. At least he can still parry. Right, let me just wait. I'm not even gonna block because, like, I literally don't need to. Bro, that isn't even fair.